What's going on, Jerome's? Take a look at another mock draft today. Sporting news, Vinny Iyer is getting after with a 7-rounder, and the Vikings, they come away, especially day one, day two, with some very interesting names, but they ignore one position of need. But that's, of course, is what's going to happen, because if you check the box at other spots or you go BPA, sometimes there's going to be positions that get sort of overlooked and underbooked. But what can you do? Let's dive on in. Going down to 12, oh, baby. Andrew Booth, the lengthy cornerback out of Clemson University. Here's what he wrote. The Vikings brought back fading Patrick Peterson. Rude, fading my ass, because of hurting depth, but they still need to address corner to get ideal complement, nailed it, to well-rounded Cameron Dancer. Oh, all right. Booth is aggressive and covered and should maintain the big playmaking ability in the NFL. And I do like some Andrew Booth. For me, it's a top 4 in terms of corners in this class. Sauce is 1, Stingley's 2, and then you have McDuffie as well as Andrew Booth all up in that mix. So let's see who goes where. Oh, yeah, Sauce goes 10. Oh, wait, is Stingley still on the board? Wow. No, McDuffie goes all the way to 25. It's crazy. So Stingley goes, what, top 4? It's possible. Yeah, Stingley 7 to the Giants. Yeah, that makes sense. It's unfortunate. I would be surprised, even after his great pro day, that Stingley goes ahead of Sauce. I think there's fewer question marks with Sauce. But Vikings get a very solid corner at 12. Moving on to the second round, they go to the other side of the ball and get themselves a super feisty, amazing wide receiver in Sky Moore at 46. The pride of Western Michigan University, 5'10", $195. The Vikings need to add some more speed and slot versatility to complement Justin Jefferson and aging Adam Thielen. Man. This will help new coach Kevin O'Connell take the passing game to a higher big play level. And I agree. I think the Vikings should seriously consider a big play wide receiver in the first or second round, or maybe even third round. This class is replete with playmakers at wide receiver. And Sky Moore, man, Sky Moore is a lot of fun. Like he is a guy that just gets after it. He's different than his former teammate Dwayne Eskridge, where he's got speed as well as he does have feistiness. Like he will fight you for every single inch and every single ball. I do love me some Sky Moore. All right, so the Vikings got the corner, they got the wide receiver, and in the third round they address a low-key need in terms of tight end, bringing in Jeremy Ruckert from The Ohio State University. The Vikings lost Tyler Conklin. I tried to combine Conklin and Gronklin, and it came out Cronklin. Whatever. Gronklin in free agency. And with Ruckert, they can get some receiving pop back to better complement a returning Irv Smith Jr. and 12 personnel. I can't count, or I can't read. I can't do anything. Anyways, 12 personnel. Vikings probably aren't going to run as much two tight end looks, but they need something. And Irv Smith with that meniscus and the knee, I want to hedge your bet a little bit there. I think Ruckert eventually can become a starter in this league. I think that he's more of a move tight end, but given his size as well as want to in terms of blocking, he can get after it in line as well. 26 catches, 309 yards, receiving 3 touchdowns last year. I think he was underutilized at times for Ohio State, but yeah, Ruckert in the third round, sign me up for that. Vikings, no 4th round pick, but they go all the way to the 5th round. So interesting. The Vikings at 156, they take a running back from Georgia, the wrong one, James Cook, but Zamir White, I shouldn't say wrong one, definitely a different style than James Cook, even though James Cook and Dalvin together would be a lot of fun, but Zamir White, he does bring something that the Vikings don't really have, is that hammer, where Dalvin certainly has some power, Madison has some power, and King Kene has power and explosiveness, but I want a guy who's just a hammer, just the closer. Like you saw him in the college football playoff, just giving it to number 1. Zeus is just like bulldozer, right? So I do understand this in the 5th round, but get a little bit sketchy. No offensive line. 6th round, Vikings. This is the pick that they got from Chris Herndon. Smoke Monday, who has the best name in this draft. He's fine. Safety coming out of Auburn, where he's 5 interceptions, 9 passes broken up, 6 tackles for loss. He's a big-time hitter. I don't know if he'll ever develop into a full-time starter. I think he might be too much of a liability in coverage. A little bit of a baby Andrew Sendejo in here, but a dude who can hit and play some special teams, sure. But, man, offensive line, anyone? I would take Cordell Volson over Smoke Monday for sure. Maybe even Logan Bruss. even though he's a stupid Badger. Anyways, the Vikings get on the board. 191. They got 3 6th-round picks. 191. The Vikings from the Ravens and the Chiefs take Jaden Peavy, defensive tackle from Texas A&M, developmental nose tackle. His 2020 season was a lot better than his 2021, so hence why he's dropping. But a guy that can add more meat to the defensive interior for the Vikings, sure. 192. The Vikings finally get on the board with the offensive line, and it's a local guy, Matt Waletzko, offensive tackle from North Dakota, 6'8", 305, the pride of Cold Spring, Minnesota, where he's got long arms, he's got an interesting frame, he can certainly add some strength, but he's a long ways away because caliber competition, but I think that he's a guy that maybe works his way onto the practice squad and then maybe ascends, maybe becomes that swing backup tackle behind O'Neal and Darisaw, maybe, who knows. And then lastly, into the 7th round, Vikings. No, that's the Chiefs. My bad. 250 Vikings. Chasen Hines, center from LSU, 6'3", 327. Former teammates with Justin Frank and Jefferson, which is fantastic. But a guy who's a little bit more of a power center, doesn't have the movement skills of a Bradbury or even a Chris Reed. But it's a guy that is not going to be pushed around. He's got that anchor. He's got ass for days, man. And that it feels like even though the Vikings are still primarily an outside zone team in the run game, just a guy who's going to be able to hold his ground and just not take any ish from anyone. I would certainly adore that, even in the 7th round. So, I mean, overall, this mock draft, it's a lot of fun. Ignoring some of the offensive line needs for the Vikings, but the Vikings in free agency, checking a couple boxes, bringing in Jesse Davis and Chris Reed, certainly can get around that. But I think they brought in a ton of talent, and it did sync up. We are team BPA, but sometimes it is nice when it does sync up with positions of need. Because, I mean, Sky Moore, wide receiver, Jeremy Rucker, tight end, Andrew Booth Jr., quarterback out of Clemson, wide receiver, tight end, low-key needs for the Vikings. And then they check that major box at corner up at 12, and they take Booth. He's got length as well as I think that he can develop into a very solid starter in this league. So overall, sporting news, I'm okay with this, except for the offensive line. I mean, we could go on offensive line in the 5th, but yeah. Anyways, let us know your thoughts and our thoughts. Take a look at Sporting News' latest 7-round mock draft. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.